You can hear a car? Oh, you win a prize! You win a prize too! What about your buddy? What does he want for Christmas? And that's a 556! Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka. Thank you so much for watching. Today, a bit of an apology from me, a mea culpa. I made a mistake yesterday in a video. I based a lot of numbers and things on what was basically a huge pile of poop. I got it wrong, and so I pulled the video. That's why you might have seen a video pop yesterday, and then he disappeared. This is about ADS settings, your camera settings as well, the sensitivity settings, and that's really important. I think it's something that you guys should pay attention to and maybe have a listen to, because there's also, I'm going to break down towards the end why ADS is more important for single tap firing. ADS settings are what takes precedence when single tap firing. The only guns that the camera settings works for are your sniper rifles, okay? Once you start tap firing a DMR or something, you are in the hands of ADS. I'm going to break down why that is and everything else, but you need to watch on for that. And we're going to... A lot of knowledge coming. A lot of knowledge. So camera sensitivity is the sensitivity of the scope as you look around the map. Okay, before you press the fire button. Once you press the fire button, ADS sensitivity takes over. I'm going to give you an example of this. I'm going to lower my camera sensitivity all the way down to 14%, and you can see how smooth it will be and how slow it moves around, which is great for sniping. And that's also the same sensitivity of the M416 while it's looking around sniping. That's 14%, see? Now watch when I fire the M416 though, how crazy it goes. Now, the reason for this is because my ADS sensitivity is nearly double the sensitivity of my 4x camera. It's in fact at 26% at the moment, because that's easier for doing other things with the gun. But here's the really important thing that I want to talk to you about. And the reason I say you need to specialize. These sensitivity settings that you see on these really good YouTubers who you're like, oh my God, they're full spraying for 4x and they're amazing. That takes a lot of other stuff out of the equation. And the reason I'm using the 4x for this is because so many people start carrying on about how amazing it is to see a full 4x spray and a 6x spray with a weapon. When in fact, the 4x is the tipping point for a crossover between sniping and AR fire. So if you specialize a 4x scope to be just really, really good in ADS with a M416, that's great. And it won't affect your bolt action sniper rifle. What it will affect is your DMR. Now, a lot of people have told me that that's not correct, that using camera settings is what DMRs work off, but that's bullshit. And I'm going to show you why. It's a good thing we screwed up yesterday, because it was allowed me to check this stuff out today and make my own thoughts. Here we go. So to test this out, we're going to put the camera settings for 4x down to 1%. Now that means that you won't be able to move the 4x scope around at all, which should mean that the single tap DMR style fire would be amazing. Watch this. You can see when I put the 4x scope on how little it moves around at all. But my ADS settings is perfect for controlling a 4x spray. Well, better than it should be. So then, if I'm doing that, no problem. What about if I start, you can see it's not moving at all. So the camera setting is at nothing. Therefore, if camera controlled DMR style single tapping, this wouldn't be the case. Okay, here's the issue. It's going everywhere when I single tap an M416, because my settings are specialized for spraying an M416. But if I turn that 4cog back up to 25, 24%, you'll see I can move it around just fine. And then I turn the 4cog scope down in ADS, and so it's a happier medium between the two. This is what I mean by specializing your sensitivity. If you go too far in one direction, then you take other options out of play. And I like to have a happy medium where I can really happily single tap an M416 or an SKS or an SLR, and I can also spray fire. But here's the thing, and this is something that I think I really thought about yesterday and I still hold true to right now. The 4x scope is the tipping point between sniping and spraying. There is no real value to spraying with a 4x compared to spraying with a 3x. It's one more level of magnification, and to be honest, once you get to that kind of range, your 4x is your sniper rifle. You're far better off turning your 4x into a specialized single tap weapon style scope than turning it into a scope that you can spray with, because you can already do that with the 3x, and the 3x isn't quite there for sniping. The 4x isn't perfect for sniping, but it's a lot better than the 3x. 25% more view range is a lot when you're trying to hit a headshot at 300 meters. It's not a lot more view range when you're trying to full spray someone down at 75. And this is what I mean by specialization. So set your sensitivity up to a level where your 4x scope is good for DMRs, and you know, it can in a pinch do something with single tapping for an M416 or a little bit of spraying, but use your 3x as your full spray and your 4x as your sniper. Finally, just a little bit of advice. I'd take your 8x and your 6x cameras all the way down till, I use mine at 11 and 9%, and I use my 4x camera now down quite low as well. Now, the reason for that is very, very simple. Basically, I really do not want to have a lot of movement in my sniper rifles. It's still doable, but once you get out to extensive ranges with your sniper rifle and you start trying to hit targets at multiple hundreds of meters, like 100, 200, 300, you can see those tiny movements are not very good. You want it to be as low as possible, because then you can really work those fine adjustments to your crosshairs. And that's why the camera works for your single shot bolt action rifles. And that's why I run mine as low as humanly possible without being too low to move around. Remember, I did a video on spotter scope, kill scope. 3x is great for that. The 3x will move around like a mad woman's poop. The spotter scope will allow you to look around, then switch to your 8x or your 6x. Use your quick scope swatch if you want to. That's perfectly fine. That's up to you. But that's been good. I'm glad that we screwed the video up yesterday, because I think I got a greater understanding of ADS than I did. Finding a little loophole wasn't really that cool, but figuring out what actually works and what doesn't was far more important. So I hope that was good for you guys. I'm sorry it was a little bit dry. There'll be a lot more exciting stuff coming up, but I think this is important. And one more thing, guys. You got to do this yourself. Don't copy Athena's sensitivity settings. Don't copy Rolex's. Don't copy mine. You can use them as a jumping off point. Everyone is very, very unique. Rolex is a thumb player. Athena uses gyroscope and has like little freaking fingers like jackhammers. I run Claw on a 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Everyone's different. Devices are different. Gameplay styles are different. Whether you push, whether you spray, if you don't like using sniper rifles, if you've got bad internet connections, so an 8x scope is pointless for you. These things all have to factor into the equation. And the only one that can figure out the correct answer is you. So take this knowledge, apply it to your own gameplay, and get better. Until next time, look after yourselves. You're the best. You guys rock. I'm Bushka. Stay safe in the battlefield, and bye for now.